Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Infamous. Well, last time Moya gave us quite a few little jobs that we have to do, but first we're going to go get some blast shards. Now don't worry, we're not going to be spending this entire video getting blast shards, and we're not going to be spending a lot of time on that, because I know you don't want to see a whole video of me collecting them, but right at the beginning, when blast shards first become available, you start seeing them everywhere, and if you're a little OCD like me, you'll see 2 blast shards, say, on the side of a building, one's on a billboard, you just gotta go get it. At least I do. I just see that, I'm like, I have to have that. I mean, you really should be getting blast shards anyways to up your battery cores, so there's no harm in doing it, but we will not be spending a lot of time on the missions. Speaking of which, we have 3 missions that we need to do. You can see on the radar there are 3 little blue circles, and those are the ones we're going to be doing in this video. Now, there's one right down there. I think I can make this jump. We're about to find out. Yeah, we got it.
Alright, now what?
I'm picking up some weird interference from a rooftop not far from you. Need to find out its origin and purpose.
So what am I looking for?
Not really sure. Probably a transmitter of some type. Call me when you get over there.
Well, basically just got to get to the top of the cylinder object right in front of us. But first I'm going to show you what happens when we actually get all the battery shards that it's asking us to collect. What do we get, you may ask? Well, I'll tell you what you get, ladies and gentlemen. You're getting a brand new battery core! That's right, you get the complete full package, complete with the ability to use your special powers more often! And this message has been brought to you by the Red Lamb Hotel, where we have the softest wool blankets in town. Reserve a room today and you'll get a special offer on a room that hasn't been damaged in the citywide catastrophe.
Found it. Looks like a portable audio drive is attached to this satellite dish.
See if you can listen to it with your phone.
Sounds like a bunch of garbage.
It's an encrypted message, but I can't break it. Look around and see if you can find another one.
And we'll never speak of that ever again. So here's a new game mechanic. Whenever you press L3, you'll see a little gray circle on the outline of your radar. And that's pointing you in the direction of another satellite, so you kind of need to follow that to get to the next one. So it's over there in that general direction. We're just going to find it. Oh yeah, and by the way, you can do that. Cole can hit like a bull, but he's as graceful as a cat when he comes to jumping down on top of wires. And that's something you're going to learn very quickly about Infamous when you play this game, is you can jump from any height onto any small little object, such as a light pole or a wire or anything, and Cole will just land as gracefully on it as he can. It's also kind of curious how none of the objects he lands on are broken in half when he lands on them, meaning Cole's pretty much light as air when he lands on them, but again, electricity powers Deus Ex Machina explanation. So the radar is pointing us to this building, or at least this row of buildings right here, and uh-oh, I saw something over there. Yep, I gotta go get it. Sorry. It's on the way, though, so it's not that big of a deal. So you notice on the radar now, there's that little white circle, and when you see that, that's how you know you're really close to a radar. You can also hear a little beeping noise in the background, so another indicator for you.
You hear that? Same thing as before.
I'm running the signals through a decryption program on this end. I've almost cracked it, but I need another sample. Look around for more of those files.
Alright then, just one more to go. Well, it looks like it's pointing in this general direction, the way I'm facing right now, and luckily there is a wire that looks like it goes to the building we need to get to. Well, how very fortunate. Another thing I like about this game is the fact that you can run and shoot at the same time. It's not like one of those Resident Evil setups where you have to stop and shoot. And right there, actually, the game was trying to introduce a new enemy, but it completely missed it with the camera. There's a Reaper over there with a shield that absorbs all of Cole's powers. So you can't hit him directly, but occasionally the guy will peek up over a shield and you have to go for his head and get a headshot, and that's the only way to defeat him. Either that or get behind the guy if you're in close range combat. It looks like we've taken care of all the guys up there. Well, there's still a few down there we can get. Alright, everyone's dispatched, and let's go get that final satellite.
That's the last one.
Give me a second. Alright, that should do it. I'm uploading a decrypting algorithm into your phone. It should let you listen to the messages.
I couldn't stop Kessler from detonating the ray sphere. Damn thing took out 5 or 6 square blocks, killed God knows how many. Found the ray sphere in the blast crater next to some kid. Don't know if he was dead or not, didn't have time to check. I'm gonna try and hole up somewhere. If anyone is even listening to these things, I need immediate extraction. Please, you've got to get me out of here before Kessler finds me.
Do you understand any of that?
I don't believe it. That's John. He must have used dead drops to communicate with his handlers.
English?
It means there are probably more of those scattered around the city. You should try and find as many as you can. They might tell us where he took the ray sphere.
Find John in the ray sphere, and I'm out, right?
I know the deal, Cole.
Just making sure.
At this point, we get a new option in our menu. We can actually listen to all of the dead drop satellites that we pick up. Since we got 3 in the last mission, we're able to listen to all of them, and we're also able to play the game while we listen to them.
Contact established with the First Sons. Met a woman who called herself Jane, and she asked me a variety of questions, including whether or not I've ever exhibited extrasensory abilities. Told her I have dream-based ESP and involuntary telekinetic abilities. Jane seemed to mull this over for a while. Then she gave me an address. I was instructed to meet her there at midnight. No other details.
'Unprovoked attack by terrorists seeking to break through the quarantine and cross Stampton Bridge. Their goal was simple: spread the plague to the mainland. It was only because of the efforts of the heroic men and women of the CDC that this vicious attack was repelled, thus preserving the quarantine. US TV has learned that as a result of this event, the CDC will be positioning additional forces along the quarantine lines and increasing the number of both boat and air patrols. Citizens are encouraged to cooperate with CDC soldiers.
Ten-day communication delay due to being incapacitated. Met Jane outside of an abandoned warehouse. She put a black bag over my head, then led me in. Counted 2,000 steps and one right-hand turn. She sat me in a chair, strapped down my arms and legs, and left me there. Don't know how long I sat strapped to that chair, at least a couple of hours. Finally, the bag was removed and this brute of a man stood in front of me. Had to be 7 feet tall and 400 pounds. He told me that he was going to beat me, and if I wanted him to stop, I'd have to do it mentally, with my mind. Then he punched me in the face.
I just wanted to make sure you guys saw the TV report and all the dead drop info before I talked again. As you can see by the TV report, the government's kind of trying to deny everything and make themselves look like the good guys, so pretty typical government propaganda type stuff. And the dead drops are important because they give a lot of background info about John and his involvement with the First Sons before the explosion incident with Cole even happened. There's another thing I forgot to mention last video. You saw that each with your powers, you have good and evil, and then depending on if your powers are good and evil, they have different effects, such as the good Thunderball giving you more electricity when you hit an enemy. But what about the evil side? Well, when you're evil, the electricity bolt actually has a random chance of causing an enemy to explode and damage enemies around him. As you can see there, all the enemies around that one guy that exploded all caught on electricity and they were getting damaged. But we're on our way to the next mission right now. And of course, it's at the top of this building. Pretty much almost every mission in this case has to be at top of a building for some reason. You just better hope there's no blast shards. Oh, spoke too soon. But again, this is right on the way. So no need to worry about me going out of my way for
it. Cole, I just got a call from an EMT in your area. The Reapers have overrun his makeshift medical clinic, and he needs your help.
I can't solve all the world's problems, Moya.
Maybe not. But if you help him, he might return the favor.
Saving a medical clinic so we can save other people? Well, that's quite the good, cool thing to do now, isn't it? Alongside saving orphans, widows, and cats that have been stuck up trees. Of course, though, Good Cole would naturally always want to help anybody in need, so we're going to be doing this side mission. Even though this side mission will not be giving us good karma to do it. First, though, we got to get there and not die, so let's do that first.
The Reapers keep attacking the clinic I have down the street. Take care of them for me, would you?
Oh, jeez, that's a jerk move right there. Also have to mention that I actually did the missions in this out of order. You're going to see an ability here that is unlocked in a previous mission, but I have not yet covered. But that mission's going to be the one I do after this one, so... Just wanted to tell you straight up that the live capture ability, yes, we see that in the next mission. But right now, we're going to have to take all these Reapers that are around the clinic, and hopefully the Doctor will give us some kind of a favor in return for doing so. And I also mentioned the good and evil versions of the electric bolt earlier in the video. Well, there's also a good and evil version of the shockwave ability. In the good version, it suspends enemies up in the air, making them easier to hit with your electric bolt. And there is an evil version too, which we will be seeing a little later in the video. But since we've taken out all the Reapers, this section of the city now becomes liberated, meaning no enemies will appear in this section of the city again. We've also unlocked a medical clinic, so if we ever die, we will show up here instead of having to go all the way back to a previous save point.
There are other people around there who need help too. Keep an eye out for them.
And that was pretty much the introduction to all of the side quests in the game. Now if we go to the map, you'll see there's a yellow marker to the right, and that's another side quest, and by doing that, we can liberate other parts of the city to make sure enemies don't get into them. There are also good and bad side quests, the red and blue as you can see, and depending on if you're good or evil, you can choose to do a good or evil side quest and increase your moral standing whatever you are. Now I mentioned before that there was a good part of the shockwave, but what about the evil part of the shockwave? Well, when you're evil, the shockwave electrocutes anybody that's caught in the blast. Or in this guy's case, it causes him to get stuck in a wall and just have ragdoll physics take over for him. Oh, poor guy. Looks like he's actually trying to dance. Alright, man. Come on. You can do it. You can bust out a move. Let's go. Oh, God. What is this? What is this called? This new dance. I must learn it. How do you do that? How do you get up on the wall like that, man? I gotta try that sometime. I mean, I could watch this all day, but actually we gotta keep moving. So on to the next mission, which is actually in Archer Square, which is where we took the food down in the very first mission.
Your history.
Okay, Moya, what now?
One of my contacts, an electrician named Brandon Carey, didn't check in last night. He's pretty important, so you need to find him. He was last seen in the alley across the street from your location.
Your boy isn't here, Moya. Just a dead woman.
A woman? Well, that doesn't make any sense.
Hang on a second.
Reapers! No! Leave my husband alone! Where are you taking him? Brandon!
Whoa.
What just happened?
I had a vision. The Reapers kidnapped Brandon. This is his wife, Lene. I can see the echo of someone running away.
Follow it. We need to find out what happened.
That's right, folks. Cole is part Jean Grey, part the kid from Sixth Sense, and part some other superhero who has an ability like this who I don't know. I'm not the biggest superhero guy, but I'm pretty sure that in the history of superheroes, someone has had an ability or power like this. So if you know, just, mention that in the thread. So yeah, we gotta follow this shadow, or this echo, of electrician Brandon Carey. And, oh look, a tutorial how to combat roll. And here's a good reason why we need to have that tutorial right now, because of this guy. This is the Conduit. He's a more powerful version of a Reaper. He's able to teleport around, so once you hit him, he's going to go to a different location. And he's also able to send a giant wave of energy at you, which you need to dodge, or else you're going to be sent backwards and just flying everywhere. But in the end, they're just as easily defeated as most other Reapers. It's just an extra little trick you got to learn with them. And on the way we're following this Echo, we're going to be accosted by several groups of these guys. One thing that helps when you have a giant group of enemies is just to basically rapid fire the electric bolt out of your hand. There's no energy cost for doing so. You can do it as many times as you want, and basically as long as you tap the button fast enough, you can take down a lot of guys in a fairly short amount of time.
What's up?
Feds, man. That's what's up. Watching our every move. Even caught one scoping out the roof. Was leaning against the wall down there, eating a fresh apple. Now you tell me, where the hell did he get that?
I don't know, Zeke. But if we want to be out of here, this is the way it's gotta be.
Come on, man. Don't be stupid. They'll ride you as long as they can. But the second you're no longer useful, bam! You vanish. Permanently.
I think all that conspiracy stuff has rotted your brain.
Hey, don't kill the messenger, brother. I'm just telling it like it is. You watch your back.
It's very easy to picture Zeke being one of those guys who normally would just be sitting at home all day, making video after video about how the government's out to get you and how they're watching you on YouTube. It's also easy to see Zeke being a fan of Zeitgeist the movie. But actually, Zeke is a little justified in his paranoia of the government, considering there was a news report where the government was trying to cover up the bridge incident, and also that the fact that there is a device that gives people electricity superpowers. I mean, if a device like that really existed, don't you think the government would try to cover that up anyways? Oh god, government's going to probably be watching this video right now, me talking about him so much. Well, if I disappear in the next week or so, you'll know what happened to me. Oh yeah, by the way, the Reapers decided they wanted to fight me in a Transformer yard, which is kind of one of the dumbest things they've ever tried to do, considering there's unlimited health everywhere.
What the hell happened? The entire neon just went dark.
That's because one of those maniacs blew up a whole substation. Man, brain feels like it's in a vice.
Your body must be reacting to the absence of electricity. You're gonna have to man up and find Carrie. If we don't restore the power, the Reapers will be unstoppable.
And here's an introduction to another gameplay mechanic. Over the course of the game, there are going to be parts of the city that don't have electricity, and when that happens, when Cole is in one of those areas, he won't be able to use any of his superpowers.
Alright, I tracked the Echo to the sewers.
The Reapers must have needed Carrie's help in shutting down the underground linear transformer. Find the transformer and figure out a way to get it back online. If they killed the circuit, you'll have to reestablish it.
Got it. This must be what I'm looking for.
Now here we get the touch abilities that I had mentioned in the last mission.
Thank you. Hey, Janet, you back there? Open the gate. This guy's okay. You've got to stop the Reapers. They're running around with some electrician, killing anyone they find down here.
I'm gonna make you...
The transformer's back on. Now what?
Restart the distribution substation by charging up the voltage regulator mounted to its front. That should be enough to get the power back on.
Now, the touch abilities come in 3 flavors. There's the ability to heal, where Cole just basically defibrillates everybody, no matter what they may be suffering from. They could have a broken leg, or they could have internal bleeding, but no, electricity defibrillator heals all. And this will give you a good karma standing with a lot of citizens, and also some experience points. There's also the arc restraint, which is what we saw in the last mission, where you take bad guys and you get an extra experience point for restraining them if they're still alive. That way you can get good karma without having to get the extra experience point from having to kill them. And the last is Bio Leech, where you actually take the life out of any enemy to heal yourself. That actually gives you a negative karma point for that. So we're not going to be using Bio Leech. I just showed it right there just for the sake of showing it. And I mentioned before how water hurts Cole. Well, you can see that firsthand right there. Now, it doesn't kill him, but you can't stay in there.
Hey, man, you there?
Yeah.
Trish just stopped by and grabbed some of her stuff. She barely talked to me, and when I brought you up, whoo! She damn near blew a gasket.
She thinks I killed her sister.
Man, that ain't your fault. The package was a bomb. Hell, you're lucky to be alive. She needs to see things for what they are.
Yeah, well, I'm not holding my breath. I'll catch you later. I got into urban exploration about 4 years ago. Crawled all over this city, so I know these sewers like the back of my hand.
So there you catch a little backstory on how Cole has the ability to naturally jump and climb around like he does. And those abilities are probably just enhanced by his superpowers. It's also a good time to mention that the fact that we're going to be seeing these sewer sections quite a bit over the course of the game. Whenever we gain a new power like we got with the touch abilities, we're going to go through a sewer section that pretty much forces you to use your powers to get used to the controls behind them.
What are you doing here? Did they see you?
I need to turn on the substation.
Are you out of your damn mind? The Reapers will kill my wife. No one is getting in here.
Open the door.
Screw you! I've jammed this thing up tight. No one is getting in or out until she's safe.
Poor guy. Still thinks he's protecting Lene. Doesn't change the fact that I need to get in there. I can either fry him and open the door that way, or tell him that his wife is dead. See if that gets him to back off. Lene is dead. They shot her.
How do you know her name?
I know this is hard. I saw her body. There was nothing anyone could do.
I knew I shouldn't have trusted her. I'm so sorry, Lene. Listen to me. I've seen what you can do. You have to kill them. All of them. Promise me.
I'll do what I can.
Well, we get the good karma for telling the poor guy that his wife is dead, and at least bring some closure to him. But what would happen if we were doing the evil side of things? Well, instead of telling him that his wife is dead, we would just shoot him through the bars. It causes a pretty big hole to just appear right there in the grating. But since we've already been through some relationship issues ourselves, we don't want to do that to another guy. We know how hard it is, how hard it feels. So we're going to give him some closure, and we're going to avenge his wife. And the best way I can think to avenge his wife is by restoring power to this section of the city. I think that sounds good.
Nice work. Looks like power is fully restored to North Beach. There are 3 more substations that are still offline, though. I'll mark them on your GPS as I find them.
And that will be it for the episode, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.